Hi, Claire. Thank you for jumping on to have a chat with me this morning.
Hi, thank you for having me.
It's so good to see you. So, we have been working together through the Priestess of Motherhood mentorship journey, and you started this with me in July 2022. Can you believe
Yes,
how long ago that was and like
I
how
can't
much
believe it's been
did
6 months.
in that time? How crazy is that? So, tell me, what was life like for you back in July when you were considering jumping on board here?
It almost feels like I can't remember because so much has changed. Um, but yeah, it was pretty busy, pretty hectic. I remember struggling to juggle my priorities or to sort of get myself, um, I guess, into a space of honoring myself and my role in my family. I was a bit busy all the time and a bit distracted.
Yeah.
Um, and I think as a result of that, I was not being the best version of myself for everyone, including myself.
Yeah, and so like when we come onto these journeys, it's often about improving these relationships that we have with people in our lives that we care for, so like our children, our partners. So how were things for you then compared to now? Like how has that shifted for you?
Um, Good. It was challenging. And I think a big motivator for me was I had experienced the kind of favorite version of myself that we have worked on so dearly. I had experienced that previously and then had another child, and everything kind of went a little bit into chaos. Like it took us a really long time to find our flow and to sort of settle into that new life. He
Yeah.
just turned through, and I've just found that now.
Yeah.
But having experienced that before, there was a lot of frustration and sort of angst around not being in that flow then.
Yeah.
And that was the main motivation that I reached out to you because I'm like, I know I can do this. I know I can achieve this, but
Yeah.
I just can't right now.
That's what I
Yeah.
was going to say. Like, what was the tipping point for deciding that it was this 6 month priestess journey, like this full in immersion into this journey with me? What was the tipping point to choose that?
Well, I've been following your work for a long time,
Mm.
and been kind of dabbling with little bits and pieces, like going to your moon circles and things like that over a period of time.
Yeah.
And I think because I really consciously tried to work on it myself for a period of like maybe from April to July. I feel it was like around my birthday was kind of my like, okay, this is the year we're gonna make this happen. And then by July, I was like, I'm not making progress. Like, I'm not really achieving what it is that I want to achieve. I'm going to need some help here.
Yeah.
And it just aligned. It made total sense. It was a huge thing for me to make that commitment to myself, not only financially, but like time wise. That was a massive thing. Booking in that time
Yeah.
every fortnight was like, can I take that time for myself? Can I afford to be away from the kids? And some days it was a struggle. Some days it
Mm.
was hard to do, but I'm so glad that I did it.
Yeah. And was there any sort of parts to the way that I work that are a bit different to how you were going about it to self? Is there anything that I was able to do that really held that together for you to get there?
I think the biggest shift and the one that I hold so tightly to all the time still, like, and I know I will moving forward as well, was the shift in understanding of striving to be my best self
Mm.
versus my favorite self. Because, like you say, striving to be that best self is like almost always out of reach. Like, it kind of feels like something that's, um, it's just always higher than where I'm at. And
Yeah.
that's what I have been doing for so many months. Like, I kind of had set this, um, like goalpost almost, and
Mm.
was like, oh, this is who I have to be all the time. And if I'm not, then I'm failing.
Mm. Those high
So
expectations.
yeah, yeah. And rewriting that into favorite version of self
Yeah.
is so much more nurturing and so much more loving. And that was a huge, that's probably my biggest takeaway from the 6 months. It was like the biggest game changer for
Amazing.
me.
Yeah.
But I feel as well that the way that you break it down and the way that I knew where I was going to get to because we spoke about that in our first session, but I wasn't in a hurry to achieve it all at once. It was like, okay, I'm just going to work on this part for now. I'm just going to, and it was slowly implementing what we were talking about and what I was learning.
And the beautiful thing that I remember from our journey is each week I would say, okay, this week we're going to work on this. And you were like, well, actually, this has just come up for me. And you were already so ready for it because it was just the natural next step for you. And it was just like that path was just lined up for you. It was wonderful. Um,
I
you
love
also,
that so much. The
yeah,
synchronicities always in our conversations. It was like, I don't think there was one fortnight that there wasn't a massive synchronicity. And it was like, yes, we're on the right track.
yeah, no doubt. So that's, yeah, beautiful to hear that it's always like, yes, I'm in the right space and this is where I'm meant to be. And it all paid off for you, obviously. So you
Absolutely.
got to experience some naturopathic care, which I'm now beginning to weave into this program moving forward. So, um, how do you feel like this is going to work for future people that come through my 6-month mentorship, having that naturopathic implementation as well as all of this energetic work that we've been doing?
It was so perfect. And like we were just talking about the synchronicities and like divine timing of everything. But um I had been seeing your calls for clients to come into clinic when you were doing your student practice and stuff. And I was like, oh, one day, one day, one day, forever. And then eventually making that commitment and taking that time to go and do it was like, it was a really complementary step, I think, to where I was in my mentorship journey.
Yeah.
And finding the assistance or finding the help for the bodily things that were happening as well was like, it flowed beautifully and it like really brought the journey to a different level. I feel like the
So
energetic stuff was awesome.
true holistic care. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Having that sort of balance of both was really powerful for me.
Amazing. So tell me, what has changed for you since you started? What has happened in your life?
Where do you start? Um, we have moved, which is the biggest thing, and I feel like I want to I'm getting emotional thinking about it because so much has changed. It was so beautiful, but connecting in with the root chakra work was like absolutely game changing for me. I think that was my point of like, whoa, like anything is possible now because I understood that better. Um, and understanding what all of that meant for me and how it impacted everything was really, really massive. So it was really shortly after we did that root chakra work that we decided to put our house on the market,
Yep.
and then unfolded a crazy few months of preparing and all of that kind of stuff. But it all happened so easily and with so much flow.
Mm.
Um, and now we've moved to the central coast of Queensland and living by the beach and on this beautiful rural property. Um, I don't even know where I'm so much more connected in my parenting journey. Like I'm where I wanted to be when we started. Like I've got so much more patience and so much less reactivity with my kids and with my husband. I feel so much more connected to my role as the priestess of
Yeah.
motherhood. Um, and yeah, just like really focused and really settled in my energy, I guess. That's kind of the biggest thing for me.
Do you feel like that's like a lasting shift, like something that will stay with you?
100%. And something synchronistic again, because that always happens with us, right? Like just before we came on this call this morning, I was on a webinar that I've been putting off for like, I don't know, 15 years, I think, when I first started writing this book.
Yeah.
And this opportunity popped up on my emails or newsfeed or somewhere recently to get mentored into writing, into starting that writing practice. And I mean, I've already got a chunk of it written, but now it's about bringing it back into bringing it to life.
Yeah.
And instantly, what's coming up in that is a lot of the root chakra work that we did at the beginning of our journey too. So I'm like, I've got my notes out and I'm like working through all of that again and sort of allowing myself to, yeah, be in that process with a different focus this time.
Yeah, it's like it's it's got these like tentacles out, and it's worked through you, and now it's worked through your family life and your closest relationships, and now it's your next baby is your business, and really putting its energy into your business and allowing that to now thrive as well, and have your values and your roots like just extend out into that, and that will also integrate into your energy. And yeah, it's beautiful how it just expands every aspect.
Yeah, so powerful.
So, I have one more question, that's a bit different. Is what does it mean for you in the priestess of motherhood? Like, what does it mean for you to be that priestess?
Everything.
Mhm.
Um, I it's something that I've always really strived for. Like ever since I was a really young kid, like that was my vision and my goal. My mom passed away when I was really little, as you know, so it was like always something that was really important to me was like to be, you know, this sort of like fairy tale nurturing kind of mama. And that's when I had my girls, I was like, wow, this is actually my life right now. Like this is what I need to be focusing on.
Yeah.
When the energy shifted with my son coming in, I sort of lost track of that a little bit. Like the dynamic of going to one extra child was a shift that I wasn't really prepared for, I guess. But going through the process of motherhood journey with you, net like just finishing there, I feel like I've reclaimed a lot of that. Like I've reclaimed a lot of that power and of that love. It's really,
Mm,
really
beautiful. And if there was, sorry, I'm losing my voice again. If there was something that you were could say to somebody who was contemplating doing 6 months with me, what would you say?
do it. It is such a worthy investment. And like I think as mamas, we struggle to invest in ourselves. Like we kind of put everyone else's needs first and do all of that. But the making that commitment to myself, it took a lot of self-talk to get there. I know, you know that because it took me weeks of like inquiring to actually get booking. But um I really sort of rationalized it as it's an investment for my family. Like it's not a selfish thing that I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it has been. Like everyone has benefited from what I've learned and from the shifts that have happened.
Yeah.
Um, it's such a worthy gift to give yourself to just, if you feel that you can take that mothering to the next level, like if you feel that there's room to sort of just expand into the truest version of yourself, then go for it.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for sharing this part of your journey with us and allowing me to share this with everybody else who may be on the fence about jumping into something like this journey. So thank you so much for sharing this with me, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.